Alright, so today I'm going to bring you a video going over how to make a nice macro-friendly, calorie-friendly breakfast. So what we got here is some already diced up frozen potatoes. So most potatoes you get at restaurants are cooked in oil, but potatoes just by themselves mostly just have carbs. So we're going to have a little carb source from potatoes. It's also going to be a higher protein breakfast, so we got 98% fat-free, 98% lean ground turkey, and then eggs, obviously, because that's a nice little breakfast food choice. And then we got some spinach in here to add some volume. So let's get it going. Potatoes going. I'm going to measure it out, and actually I'm making breakfast for myself and two friends, Austin over there, and then my man Joe. Making breakfast for the homies too, so I'm going to make 3 servings of this. So if you look on the back right here, you see 1 serving is 2/3 of a cup. There's 11 servings total, and I want about 50 grams of carbs for the meal. I'm gonna go 4 whole cups of the potatoes just to get around that 50 grams of carbs with this. So first, I'm gonna get a little spray action, and like I said, you want to make sure you're getting some type of non-stick spray, some vegetable oil spray. Don't be putting direct oil on the potatoes with this, just because that adds a lot of extra calories, a lot of extra fat to your meal that you really don't want, and it doesn't really affect the taste too much either way. So I'm just going to spray the pan, get a little bit going in there, and then I'm going to put 4 cups of potatoes. Again, if you're only doing it for yourself, probably 1.5 cups or so would be what you want, but since I'm making food for pals, being friendly out here, helping the homies out too on this nice Saturday. I'm gonna go 4 servings of it. Get that. Got the potatoes going. Gonna add a little bit of seasoning. Got a little seasoned salt type of action. Get that up in here real quick. Get that going. Nice little flavor. Cover it up so it cooks a little more thoroughly, a little faster. The next thing we're gonna do is get the ground turkey going, and I'm gonna put the spinach in, cook it in with it. But I want to get the ground turkey cooked up a little bit so the spinach isn't completely cooked and shriveled up into nothing. That's not what we want out here. So we'll get the spray going again. Again, don't want to add excess oil, excess fat to it, a meal if you don't have to. Get this going. And you can get different kinds of ground turkey, so whatever your goal is, say you are trying to add a little bit more size, you can get the 93.7 ground turkey, so 93% lean, 7% fat. And it is more calories, it'll add a little bit more fat to your meal. But again, if you're looking to add more size, that's one way to go about it. So we're going to get this going, get a little seasoning here as well. And a lot of people are really concerned about the amount of salt that they put in their meals, which obviously you don't want to overdo it. I'm not going to pour this whole thing of seasoned salt in this ground turkey and potatoes, but for most people that are actively trying to lose fat, salt does not play as big of a role in it as you would imagine. So I like to season all my foods just so obviously it adds another little bit of flavor to everything. Cooking, got that going, got the ground turkey almost there, about to put the spinach on it. So when you're cooking the ground turkey, you kind of want to chop it up because if not, it just kind of forms into a big giant hamburger patty. That's not what you want. So then just flip it around a little bit until it looks like it's starting to get cooked on both sides, on all sides of it. Obviously you don't want it to be pink. So we'll let that keep going a little bit longer, and then now we're going to start cooking the eggs. So for the eggs, get the spray down. Pan's a little small, but that's alright. We're going to go 4 eggs for each person, and we're going to go 3 egg whites and 1 whole egg. So at first I'm just going to cook the egg whites. So one way to go about doing the egg whites, obviously you can just buy the carton of egg whites at the store, or what I've always done is just separate it out. So you crack open the egg and then just kind of go back and forth with the yolk until all the egg whites come out. It's a little tedious, a little monotonous at times, but it gets the job done. Sometimes you do make a mess as well. So we're gonna get 9 total egg whites in here, and then split that up into thirds after it's all cooked. All right, so the ground turkey's cooked up enough now. It's pretty much cooked all the way through, so now I'm going to add some spinach on top. Just a handful, maybe a couple handfuls. Get some greens mixed in. Get the breakfast. We got the eggs going back here. The egg whites are almost completely cooked as well. I'm going to keep flipping those around, dicing them up like I was with the ground turkey. The meal is almost done. Put the potatoes down first. About to split it up. Try to do it relatively evenly so it is hitting the amount of carbs and the amount of calories for each plate. So we'll get some on this first plate. Stack action in there. Okay, so the next thing, got the potatoes out the way. Got the oven turned off, major key, don't want to burn the house down. Almost made that mistake one too many times. All right, so now we're gonna get the ground turkey and spinach on here. Joe's we're stacking. So let's get a little bit of this action on top. More spinach. Okay, Austin's separated. Up. Okay, and then lastly mine, I like to stack it, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, and then the next thing is gonna be the egg whites. So we're gonna do these egg whites first, and then we're gonna get an over easy egg on top. I know people like seeing the yolk on top. They like having the yolk mixed in with the potatoes and the other breakfast food items. So we'll get the egg whites on top. Yep, had a good run. And separated. See you eating it, bro. See you eating the part. Alright, easy egg. So one tip that I have is to crack the egg in the pan and then cover it up so it does a better job of cooking all the way through. And then the trouble that people run into is they try to flip it over and then that's when it breaks. So this is a good way for it to cook all the way through. And you'll know when it's almost done or when it's starting to be done because all the white around the egg is cooked. And then there starts to be a little like thin layer of white if you keep the pan on long enough. So that's one way to go about it without having to flip it over and potentially breaking your over easy egg. Yeah. This is nice. This is gonna be special. Very happy. All right, last thing. So this meal, like I said, it's a high protein meal, moderate carb and low fat. So for all of this, a lot of food, a lot of volume with it. It's gonna be 53 grams of protein, around 54, 55 grams of carbs. Adding the spinach adds a little bit. And then it's gonna be around 6 to 7 grams of fat. And so I wrote it down. The total calories ends up coming out to 487 calories. So it just shows you that you can have a lot of food in a meal, and as long as there's a lot of volume to it and you're not adding unnecessary oils, putting a lot of fat into it and a lot of extra carbs, you can have a really solid meal for under 500 calories. So hope you enjoy this.